Welcome to the Think Forward podcast, where we speak with futurists, innovators, and big thinkers. Come along with your host, Steve Fisher, and explore the future together.
Welcome back to Foundations in Foresight, a Think Forward series. I'm Steve Fisher, and today, we take a major step forward in how we think about futures work. Up until now, we've explored the spectrum foresight method, learning how to scan for signals, map trends, design layered scenarios, and translate foresight into action. But here's the challenge. Most organizations don't struggle with foresight because they lack good ideas. They struggle because they don't have a system to apply those ideas consistently. It's one thing to run a foresight exercise or create a trend report, but if those insights don't flow into leadership decisions, product development, policy, or long-term planning, then they don't create real impact. That's why today, we're introducing the Futures Operating System, also referred to as the FOS, a structured, repeatable framework designed to embed futures thinking into decision-making, strategy, and daily operations. This episode will answer key questions. Why do most foresight efforts fail to create impact? What exactly is a futures operating system and how does it work? How can organizations integrate futures thinking as a continuous practice, not a one-time event? By the end of this episode, you'll understand why foresight needs to be treated as a system and how organizations, leaders, and even individuals can implement a structured approach to navigating the future proactively. Let's dive in. Why most foresight efforts fail to create impact. Before we introduce the Futures Operating System, we need to talk about a hard truth. Most organizations engage with foresight, but few truly integrate it into their decision-making. Why? 3 major roadblocks. First, foresight is treated as an event, not a system. Many organizations run one-off foresight workshops or commission trend reports, but these efforts aren't connected to long-term strategic processes. A team might identify emerging risks in climate adaptation, AI automation, or shifting demographics. But if those insights don't tie directly into budgeting, hiring, product development, or policy, they become little more than intellectual exercises. Which leads us to the second issue. There's no structured way to turn foresight into action. It's one thing to create scenarios of possible futures, but without a defined process, those insights rarely get translated into policy, investment, or innovation strategies. Organizations that lack a systematic approach to foresight end up making reactive decisions instead of proactive ones. And finally, the third roadblock, short-term pressures override long-term foresight. Quarterly earnings, election cycles, crisis response. The immediate always feels more urgent than the long-term. Even when foresight presents clear risks and opportunities, leadership often struggles to act because near-term concerns dominate attention. So how do we solve this? By moving foresight from an event-driven activity to a structured operating system. What is a futures operating system? A futures operating system, or FOS, is a structured, repeatable system for embedding foresight into decision-making, strategy, and execution. Think of it like the operating system of a computer. It runs in the background, ensuring that all components function together, making sure that signals from the future aren't just observed but acted upon. At its core, a futures operating system continuously scans for emerging change, so organizations are always tracking shifts in their environment. Develops structured scenarios and strategy options, so foresight connects directly to decision-making. Creates built-in feedback loops, ensuring organizations can pivot and adapt as the world changes. This isn't just a trend-watching function. It's a living system that turns futures thinking into everyday strategy. The Futures Operating System is designed to bridge foresight and execution, ensuring that organizations stay adaptive, resilient, and proactive rather than reactive and caught off guard. It does 3 key things. First, it integrates foresight into decision-making. Instead of foresight being a separate special project, it's woven into leadership meetings, strategy reviews, and innovation discussions. Second, it provides a structured approach to continuous scanning. The system ensures that organizations are always tracking change, not just once a year. Third, it creates a repeatable foresight-to-action process. Signals of change lead to scenarios. Scenarios lead to strategy. Strategy leads to implementation. Implementation is tested with feedback loops. This cycle ensures foresight isn't just knowledge, it's a tool for action. Why organizations need a futures operating system? Organizations today operate in an era of unprecedented complexity, disruption, and acceleration. Without a structured foresight process, companies and governments risk missing early signals of disruption, leading to crises and reactionary decision-making. making short-term decisions that backfire in the long run, failing to see hidden opportunities because they're too focused on immediate priorities. A futures operating system ensures that organizations don't just react to change, they shape it. What's next? Building the system. Now that we've introduced what a futures operating system is and why it matters, in the next episode, we'll break down the 6 core components of the futures operating system, so you can see exactly how it works, how each component connects scanning, scenario development, strategy, and execution. Real-world examples of organizations using FOS to stay ahead of disruption. By understanding these 6 components, you'll learn how to build your own foresight system, whether at an organizational or individual level. Final thoughts and challenge for listeners. The biggest shift in futures work isn't just recognizing trends or building scenarios, it's building a system that ensures foresight leads to action. So here's your challenge. Look at your own organization, team, or career. Where do future insights currently go? Do you have a structured foresight-to-action process in place? If not, where does futures thinking get lost? In our next episode, we'll build the futures operating system step by step, ensuring you have the tools to make foresight a structured, repeatable practice. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, keep exploring possibilities, remain flexible, and as always, think forward.
Thanks for listening to the Think Forward podcast. You can find us on all the major podcast platforms and at www.thinkforwardshow.com, as well as on YouTube under Think Forward Show. See you next time.